Now we go over to the next word, that is a vector. What is a vector? Vector is an organism. It might be a biting insect or a tick that can transmit a disease or a parasite from one animal or plant to another. The commonest examples are the mosquitoes. You're all familiar with how the mosquitoes work. They suck your blood. They come and sit on your skin. They suck your blood. But knowingly or unknowingly, they are doing a great harm to you because they might be carrying a microorganism that can be carrying malaria. And they are mosquitoes that can spread malaria. Aedes mosquito is also an example that spreads the dengue virus. Anopheles mosquito spreads the malarial parasite. In this context again, let me tell you, the female Anopheles mosquito spreads this malarial parasite more because they are in need of more blood, because blood is providing them nutrition to lay eggs. So female Anopheles mosquito spreads the malarial parasite more than the male mosquito. Is that clear? So vectors are organisms that can transmit the disease from one person or plant to another person or plant. Now we go over to the airborne diseases. Airborne diseases means what? The diseases that are spread by air. These are called airborne diseases. The most common example is influenza. You can just remember the names of the diseases also. Airborne diseases, influenza. Then waterborne diseases, naturally, these diseases are spread through water. Contaminated water is a host to several pathogens. Example is typhoid. That is why you are told not to drink contaminated water. You are advised to drink only boiled water, and because water can also spread the diseases like typhoid, cholera, etc. are examples of waterborne diseases. Now I'll show you a table in which some examples of diseases are shown to you. Human diseases. Tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is caused by a bacteria. Mode of transmission is through air. You may just go through these names. This will be helpful for you to answer small objective questions based on this chapter. Measles is also causative organism, is a virus. Mode of transmission is air. Chickenpox is caused by a virus and mode of transmission is air or contact. Polio is caused by a virus. Mode of transmission is air or by contact. Cholera is caused by a bacteria which spreads through water, contaminated water or contaminated food. Typhoid again is caused by a bacteria. Mode of transmission is water. Hepatitis B is almost like jaundice. Causative organism is virus. Mode of transmission is again by water. Malaria is a disease caused by a protozoa and mode of transmission is by mosquito bite. Sleeping sickness is also caused by a protozoa and it is caused by a fly called the tsetse fly. So these are some examples of human diseases and what are the organisms, who are the organisms causing it and how these diseases are spread. Now we go over to the plant diseases. Certain pathogens can cause diseases in plants also. Just like humans, they can also be attacked by a bacteria or virus. Several microorganisms cause diseases in plants like in the rice, potato, wheat, sugarcane, in the oranges, apple, and in other plants. Just let us learn the name of the diseases. Citrus canker is a name of the disease that is caused by bacteria and mode of transmission is air. Naturally, citrus fruits like oranges, lemons and all are attacked by this bacteria. Another disease is rust of wheat. It is caused by a pathogen, fungus, and again its mode of transmission is by air or through the seeds. That it will attack the wheat plant. And yellow vein mosaic of bindi. Bindi means lady's finger. That again, the causative organism is a virus and it is spread by the insect that sits on the plant and carries the virus to the next plant. So these are some common examples of plant diseases caused by microorganisms. Again, I repeat, these are important for your examination. Now we go to the next topic. Watch what you eat. Yes, what do you eat? Of course, we are eating food. Why do we need food? Because it gives you energy to carry on all your activities. But then we should watch what we are eating. Why? Because it may lead to food poisoning. What is this food poisoning? When the food that you eat is contaminated with pathogens or toxins. Toxins means some poisonous elements are consumed along with the food. It causes food poisoning. The most common symptom in food poisoning is, of course, stomach pain. Apart from that, you might be having vomiting, loose motions, body pain, headache, etc. These are the common symptoms. And in severe cases, it may also lead to a person's death. And what should be done? We should preserve the food. Food preservation is a very important part of the food industry, not only in the food industry, at our homes also. Preservation of food is a very, very important factor because your health depends upon the food that you eat. Certain chemicals inhibit or stop the growth of bacteria and increase the life or shelf life, we say, increase the life of the cooked food. Even the food that is cooked at home, maybe your mother has taken a lot of care in cooking the food. But then, if it is not stored properly, or if proper substances are not used, proper ingredients are not used, then what will happen? Naturally, it will allow the growth of bacteria and the food will get spoiled. So certain simple preservative methods can be carried out even at our homes.